Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about how my Hot Rod Lowrider S is the king of the highway. Let's check it out. What is going on YouTube? FXTLS Brooklyn is back in the building as we are getting on to the highway going east. About do. I do have the lady on the back, so I'm not going to be going that crazy, but I'm going to actually keep it in this bike's happy place, which is boom, right there. Pin it at 80 and you're sitting at 3,000 RPMs and the bike is just chilling. So I repeat, with this motor you can just leave it at 80 miles per hour and this bike is now doing this pretty good highway speed very comfortably, right? So right now, again, sitting at 80 is kind of what sitting at maybe 50 feels like on all my other bikes. So I said it in a previous video, this bike is the king of the highway, and for this reason. You could sit at a good highway speed and the bike is totally chill, man. I'm talking Jeff Spicoli in Fast Times chill. The bike is chill and laid back, doing a really good highway speed. And it's not just that, like if I want to suddenly pull, that's the bike pulling in 6th gear. So again, in 6th gear, you're going to crack the throttle and the bike is still going to pull away on you. That, my friend, is things that I really want out of my bike when I'm on the highway, which is number one, in the high end, at the high speeds, the bike is happy and comfortable, and then number two, in the high end, if I need to, I can still pull away hard. And again, that's in 6th gear. You know, if I really wanted to pull away, I would drop down to 5th, maybe even 4th, and then kind of take off like a rocket with this thing. But the fact that even in the 6th gear, the bike has the capacity to pull like that, that puts a smile on my face, man. That really puts a smile on my face. So, again, that's what I set this bike up to do. With this bike, most of the miles I put on it have been with the road trips, and specifically doing miles like this, just a lot of highway miles. And the fact that I can pass tractor trailers, I can pass anyone if I need to do any high-speed passing, it's just not even a second thought with this bike. Where before, you know, even with my 110, I used to have to think about it. Like, how fast do I want to pass? How, am I going to have to work up to the speed? This motor, you crack the throttle and you're gone, and that's literally in any gear. So, if folks want to know about this build, like a Hot Rod FXTLS build, I am actually most happy with it right now in the highway, and that's not what I expected. So in the planning stages of going to a bigger motor like the 124, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine that's been in the bike life for a lot longer than me, whose opinion I hold in very high regard, and him and I were just talking, and he was like, yeah, you know, I got friends that run the engine, you know, you're gonna have a really fun time, it's gonna put a smile on your face when you're running light to light, but then most of the miles you're doing, the highway miles, you know, 80 miles per hour is 80 miles per hour, whether you're on a 124, a 110, or a 103, or an 88, you know, like, what's the difference? And I agreed with him. I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. Like, why am I going to go this big on the motor if most of the time I'm going to be sitting at the high end on highway miles anyway? It doesn't really make sense. So I was actually starting to regret the decision, you know, maybe a month into buying the motor itself. I was like, why did I just do that? That actually doesn't make sense for the type of riding I'm doing. So a part of me, like, I wouldn't say I fully regretted it. I was excited for it. But a part of me was like, am I actually making the right choice for the purpose of this bike? And what I can tell you is, after sitting on the highway like how I'm doing right now, I feel so validated. I didn't expect this motor to make the bike feel so different performance-wise in the highway speeds. And I wish I could have told myself this beforehand, because then it would have made my decision a lot easier to go with a hot rod motor. Because again, I actually am having a blast with this motor on the highway speeds, and I'll tell you that doing highway speeds with a hot rod motor like a 124 is a completely different monster than doing it with a 110. Absolutely, dude. And that was just something I did not expect. So again, for the highway, this bike could not be any more dialed in. Literally, the last thing I could probably do is upgrading the transmission. I would probably go with a Baker 6 when I did that, but basically I've poured enough love into this bike over the year. I need to kind of just enjoy this bike for a little bit. But yeah, where this bike is currently shining the most is 100% what I'm doing right now, just doing highway miles. I am so stoked on it, man. And again, if you're someone who does the road trips and you're on the highway a lot, I would highly recommend riding one of these builds. You know, if it's something that you're curious about or it's something that you're considering, because right now I'm super happy. Now, I can't tell you that if I'm gonna be running this bike in heat waves like 100 degrees out west or in the southwest, I'm gonna feel the same. But right now, for the miles I've been doing, and that's including like a day that was in the 90s, I've been stoked with this motor in the highway miles. Straight up the king of the highway, the 124 FX DLS. So yeah, I'm having a blast. I hope you all are enjoying this build with me. It's been a lot of fun. A little side bonus is Jenny, who's a passenger right now, absolutely loves being a passenger on this bike. Out of all of my bikes, the DX, the FXR, she prefers to be a passenger on this bike the most, specifically because of the Saddleman SDC custom seat with the custom gel pads in the back. She loves that seat, man. And the other thing I was afraid about with this motor, because I remember with my 116, that motor was so violent and her butt would be sore even if we did like a 50-mile day, is I was afraid that it was going to be, you know, too much turbulence, too much vibration for her to comfortably do the longer rides. But honestly, you know, the fact that this is a crate motor and I pulled the entire motor from S&S, it's not a build-on kit or anything. It runs completely differently than what my 116 was running on that 06. And it's a lot less vibration with even more power, which is wild, brother. Totally wild. But yeah, right now we are currently taking it in to get dyno tuned, so I can definitely give you an update, but not going to be riding this bike for probably a couple weeks as some other procedures get done. Dyno tune, protective clear plasti wrap on the front of the bike has to get done. I got a signal that's out in the front that's got to be dealt with. But besides that, you guys can see again, the speedometer here tells the whole story. I'm chilling. I'm totally chilling at good speeds right now. I'm super happy. And as we enter Speed Trap Central, why don't we bring it down to a cool, I don't know, 75. There we go, that's nice. So you're sitting at 75 miles per hour and you are under 3,000 RPMs. The bike is kicking its feet up at the beach with a pina colada. Alright, but I'm going to enjoy the rest of my ride with my favorite bike to be on the highway with. On that, stay safe, stay low, and FX Brooklyn is out.